What's up, team? Damon with Triarm Defense, and today we're going to be talking about pepper spray. Why you would get it, how you would use it, maybe how you would train with it, some considerations as far as safety goes, and some legalities associated with pepper spray. Stay tuned, let's get into it. So we're going to start off just talking about some stuff associated with pepper spray, what it is, how it's used, some things to think about as far as legal associations go, and some considerations safety-wise. So the first thing we want to talk about is, why would you get pepper spray? Why would I use this? So pepper spray is used for a deterrent, a method for you to distract this person, get them on the ground, or get them off of you and for you to break contact and get away. Pepper spray is similar to maybe me punching somebody in the face or poking somebody in the eye or throwing sand in their eye, or whatever the case may be that you may think about that could potentially deter them or distract them. It is a distractant, okay? It is a method to spray, get it in their face, get it in their eye, cause them to delay what they're doing, and it gives you time to create distance or break contact from this person and get to a place of safety. Or maybe access another means of protection, such as a firearm if you didn't have access the first time. The one I'm going to be showing you today is a trainer spray. All right, it's blue, showing that it's inert. It's just filled with water and CO2, and it's made for training. So there's really three different types of sprays: CNCS and OC. They have super long names, like 11-word, 12-word freaking names. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce them. So just go ahead, go on Google. If you're curious about what the name actually is, search up the name. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. Super long names. But the type we're gonna talk about today is OC spray, and this is the kind you can typically buy over the counter, or most general public can usually have access to. What are some legalities associated with pepper spray? Well, first off, pepper spray is pretty sure is legal in all 50 states, but you should know your legal restrictions as far as using pepper spray for your state. All right, I'm not here to teach you how to be safe and be legal in your state. You should know, and you should do the research on what you can and can't do, what you can and can't have in your state. Most states, it's legal to have pepper spray. Now, there are restrictions with that. There may be volume restrictions. What size pepper spray can do you have? For instance, some of the police officers might carry the bigger, almost spray can size pepper sprays. And obviously you're not gonna be able to walk around with that in some states. But volume may be an issue. Some states require you to have some sort of safety pin or safety cap associated on your pepper spray can to keep negligent discharges from happening. What is the age of use law? Some states may not allow you to have pepper spray or own pepper spray unless you're over the age of 21. And lastly, there are some states that have a rule on the percentage of active agent that you have in your pepper spray. So if you have a pepper spray that has a lot of active agent in it, you may not be able to use it in your state. Now, this is no different than if you have a firearm or something and you're trying to travel from state to state. You have to know, if I'm going to this state from my state, is it illegal for me to have a firearm on me concealed? It may be different in the state you're going to. So you need to know your state laws and the state laws you're traveling to be able to take pepper spray and know if you're going to get in trouble or not. Obviously, traveling in airports is a no-go for pepper spray. You can't take these on the plane with you. What other considerations do you have at that point? Because pepper spray may not be your option. Some cautions you may need to think about is obviously respiratory. If you're spraying somebody in the face with pepper spray or some kind of OC spray, you're going to have some sort of respiratory effect with that person and possibly yourself. What kind of visual impairment are you going to create? What kind of visual impairment may you create for yourself? On days that it's windy, On days that it's windy, these are things you may need to think about if you're wanting to use this in a self-defense situation. Because if the wind is blowing and you spray this dude with pepper spray, and you get all kinds of pepper spray in your face and your eyes because the wind misted it back towards you, well, now you're both in a bad situation, because now this guy's hurting because you just sprayed him, and now you're hurting because you just sprayed yourself, and now you have less chance of getting away and getting out of the situation like you were trying to do in the first place. So you need to think about those respiratory and visual problems you may encounter when using a self-defense tool like this. You need to think about this stuff getting in contact with your skin. If you happen to get misted with pepper spray, how do you irrigate it? Do you know how to irrigate pepper spray and get it off your body? Most of this stuff is some kind of oily substance or some kind of oily chemical. So maybe just plain water will not do it. So you need to think about the best course of action is mixing some sort of mild soap like baby soap or dish detergent with water and flushing your face and your eyes from that irritant. But be cautious, because if you just go up there and start splashing water in your face, or you jump in a hot shower and you're starting to, flush all these chemicals off, where is it going? It's going all the way down your body. All those chemicals are running down your body and going to places that you may not want that chemical to go. When I did it in the military, we were in a bucket. We had a bucket or some sort of water flowing down as we bent over, and we washed our face and our eyes and our mouth from all that agent and tried to get as much off as possible. Usually you can end up getting rid of this stuff and being okay within a couple hours, at least for that day. It may be a little irritating throughout the day, depending on how well you irrigated it. But usually if you wash it really good, especially if you're in this kind of situation where you're spraying somebody and you got just some residual mist from your initial spray, it may not be as bad as you actually just getting sprayed in the face yourself. So it may not take a whole lot just to get that stuff off your face, as long as you're doing it properly and you're not just letting it run down your body and just irritate more parts of your body. Some other really important cautions we need to think about are legal and civil issues that may arise if we use this. It's no different than if we use something like a firearm in a self-defense situation. This can still be a deadly self-defense tool depending on who you're using it on. You may use this on somebody that's trying to attack you, or somebody that's maybe they're not trying to attack you and you just happen to get trigger happy and go for the spray on this person, and maybe they're just being aggressive, didn't plan on attacking you, and they may have some kind of respiratory issues that could cause them to go into some kind of respiratory distress or some kind of respiratory arrest, and potentially put them in a bad situation and put you in a bad situation as far as legal and civil lawsuits may go. So you need to be trained with this, and you need to know how to use it, when to use it, and how to use it effectively, just as if you were using some sort of firearm or some sort of knife or some sort of other self-defense tool. It's no different with this as it is with them. This can still be a deadly tool. All right, so let's talk about some training points associated with using pepper spray. The first thing we want to talk about is having this tool with you. We just did a self-defense and survival class a couple Saturdays ago, and one of the females in the class, when I asked who has an EDC or an everyday carry or some sort of self-defense tool on them or with them at that time, and when I asked that question, a couple people raised their hand, and I asked this particular female, and she said, I carry pepper spray with me. I was like, okay, cool. So where's it at? Well, it's in my car in my glove box. Okay, so now we need to think about what would have happened if we needed that pepper spray on us in that point in time, but it's just sitting in our glove box. It's no different than having a firearm and keeping it in our car or keeping it in our house and it's not with us. All right, that's why we try to teach, have something that you can comfortably carry and get used to comfortably and consistently carrying all the time. Because if you don't have it on you, what's the point of it? Not only having it on you, but knowing how to use it. A tool that you don't know how to use is an ineffective tool and a potential danger to people in the surrounding area and around you and yourself. Now this applies to really pepper spray and any kind of self-defense tool that you have or you plan on carrying with you or plan on having on you and you plan on using if needed in a bad situation, especially with something like a firearm. But if you have that firearm on you and you never train with it, you go to the range once a month, you shoot 10 rounds, and just to get comfortable with it, just to shoot it again, that's not training with it and that's not being comfortable with it, that's not knowing how to properly use it. You could potentially put yourself in a bad situation if you were to have to use that firearm. And it's the same when it comes to pepper spray. Like I said, this can be a deadly tool, and if you're in a crowd of people or you're by people that have some sort of respiratory issue and you use this on a bad guy and you end up spraying yourself or spraying that other person and they go into some kind of respiratory arrest or respiratory failure because you didn't use this properly, well, there you go. Now you have another civil or some kind of legal lawsuit that's going to be against you and possibly jail time if something bad actually comes out of it. Do you know where it's located on your body? This is something else I talk about in our courses, is have your tool on you, that's good, but know where your tool's at, know where to go for it if it's needed. A lot of people carry pocket knives on them. Well, what pocket do you have your knife in? How is it oriented in your pocket? If you were to have this pepper spray and I was to have this in my right pocket, that's where I need to carry it all the time. And if I have it oriented up or down, however I've practiced drawing from my pocket to adequately get a good grip on my pepper spray and be able to use it, have I done that enough to where in the heat of the moment and my stress is through the roof, have I done it enough to where I can subconsciously know this is where I'm going for my pepper spray and it's already set up in my pocket to where I can easily two-finger grab it, get a good grip on it, and go for the safety. So it's not only important to have the tool on you and to know how to use it, it's important to train with it and how you plan on using it. If you carry a fanny pack around all the time, I carry a fanny pack around all the time because it's very useful and I have a lot of stuff in it. But do you train with it? Do I train with unzipping the fanny pack and being able to grab my firearm? Do I train with clearing a garment and being able to properly grab my firearm? If I have pepper spray, do I train with having it in my pocket and being able to pull it out as I would if I was needing to deploy it in a self-defense situation? And with that also comes just training the situation itself. Do you have time to actually react, grab the pepper spray and employ it properly? Have you trained with somebody coming at you from a distance and being able to pull it out and have it ready to go? Now this is important, especially with something like this, because it's one thing, I can be in a close distance entanglement in a fight with somebody and I can still keep distance from them to be able to unholster my firearm and have some sort of compressed fire on this aggressor that's trying to hurt me. But if I want to use something like pepper spray and I don't have a firearm on me and I'm trying to pull my pepper spray out as this guy's on top of me and I go to utilize this pepper spray, what did we talk about earlier? You have all this residual spray and mist that's going to come from them onto you or just onto you, and now you're in just as bad of a spot as they are. So using this up close in an entanglement may not be the best idea as opposed to using a firearm or using a knife in a close distance entanglement. So you need to think about what's the distance, what's the time for me to react appropriately and still get a good shot with the pepper spray. If I'm 20 meters away, my pepper spray may not reach that person. It may be useless for me to pull my pepper spray out and try to shoot somebody with pepper spray as opposed to using a firearm at that point, or just maybe booking it, getting out of the situation and getting to a place of safety because I have time and distance between me and them. So find that sweet spot between you and the aggressor with training and find out what a good range is for the type of pepper spray that you use to effectively get a good spray on the face. So with that being said, let's go ahead and break this down and show you how to use this. So now that we know all the ins and outs of pepper spray, how to use it, why to use it, the legalities of it, some cautions about it, let's talk about and show you how to employ pepper spray and what it kind of looks like when we use it. So with me, we have our bad guy, right? Pepper spray is very, very simple to use. Most of them will come with some sort of safety cap, like I described earlier, all right? Some sort of top safety or flip safety that can be used to access the red lever that you're gonna press to utilize the pepper spray. A lot of them also have some sort of touch point, some sort of button or edge or ledge or divot that you can use to physically know that your fingers are in the right place, you have a good proper grip on it. And this one actually has, if you look at it right here, actually has a little divot inside of it, so my finger fits in nice and tight and I'm able to get a good solid grip on that pepper spray. And there's all kinds of pepper sprays out there that have different styles, or there's jargon ones that have cases with a little sleeve that goes on your hand. Just depends on how you want to use it, when you plan on using it, or what the purpose of it and why you got it. When you employ it, you're going to have a good grip. All we're going to do is flip that thumb safety up and we're going to depress that red trigger. And that's going to squirt the pepper spray, or the water in this case, in the direction that we're pointing. Now, aiming with this is no different than aiming with really anything. You're not going to aim with your hand, all right? You're going to look with your eyes and then follow up with your hand. Very simple, very easy to use. Just point and shoot, people. Now, there is a couple different ways that we can spray the person. A lot of people teach spraying across the face, just so you make sure you hit the face. Some people teach point and spray. To me, it really doesn't matter. Just train one of those ways and know how to use it in that situation. Don't train sweep in the face and then in an actual situation, point and spraying, right? So real quick, I'm gonna show you about 7 feet from the target and what it looks like and how to use it, right? Now, when you go to spray this, if it is windy and you have to use it, think about different ways that you can potentially present this pepper spray and spray it. So if I go out to spray it and the wind's blowing at me, maybe I can go like this and kind of shield my face from it, try to prevent as much of that residual spray from encountering me and potentially keeping me in a better situation than this person's gonna be at. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that pepper spray out. The guy's coming up to me. He's not backing off. He's not backing off. He's becoming aggressive. I've told him multiple times, hey, stay back, stay out of I don't like people close to me. And he continues to come up to me. So if I want to use that pepper spray, I'm just coming up, I'm popping that safety cap, I'm pointing at the face, and I'm spraying, all right? Again, all I'm doing is popping that safety cap, and I'm spraying. You can see pretty easily, if we come up close, all right, that's a decent amount of, water in this case, on that guy's face. And it'd be a really, really bad day for this person if this was actual pepper spray. Now, that's just a point and shoot method. Like I said, people teach the sweep the face, which is it's no more difficult, right? So all I'm gonna do is the same thing. I'm pointing, popping the safety cap, and I'm just spraying the face, making a line across the face to make sure I get some part of that person's eye line or mouth or nose to cause the burning sensation, to cause the irritant, to potentially distract them so I can break contact and get away from them. Now the great thing about this is it can be shot from any direction, anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're on the ground, if you're at the side, if you're directly in front of the person. It can be shot at the person if you're just aiming at the face. It's a very simple tool to use, very effective self-defense tool as far as less lethal means goes. And like I said, it can be lethal, but mostly these are less lethal. Now these can be hidden if you're having to pull it out and have it ready, just in case somebody is getting aggressive with you, just by simply holding your hand properly. If I just pull it out of my pocket and I go like this, I'm talking to the dude, hey, stay out of my space, please stay out of my space. I still have this pepper spray in case I need to spray and use it. Guys, the main thing I want you to get out of this video is understanding that a tool is a tool. Having something and not practicing with it just makes it a useless tool. So if you're gonna get something like pepper spray or a firearm or a knife, make sure you practice with it, make sure you train with it, make sure you understand the legalities of being able to use it and how to use it effectively. It is a very simple tool and it is an option for a less than lethal means of self-defense for a bad situation. With that being said, go out, get yourself some pepper spray, get yourself some pepper spray trainers, train with it, learn how to use it, learn how to effectively employ it, understand the legalities for your state. I'll see you in the next one. Stay prepared, stay safe.